Thank all the devotees who are watching online. We are having Bhagavatam class this morning, and Canto 7, we're studying from Canto 7, Chapter 5, and the text is going to be 23-24. In the matter of Prahlad Maharaj, the saintly son of Hiranyakashipu. Shri Prahlad Vacha Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Padasevanam Archanam Vandanam Dasham Shakham Atma Nivedanam Iti Pumsa Pita Vishnu Bhaktis Chen Nava Lakshana Kriyate Bhagavata Adha Tanmanne Titam Uttamam Shri Prahlad Vacha Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Padasevanam Archanam Bandhanam Dasham Shakham Atma Nivedanam Iti Pumsarpita Vishnu Bhaktische Navalakshana Kriyate Bhagavata Adhasha Tanmanne Dhitam Uttamam. Prahlad Maharaj said, hearing and chanting about the transcendental holy name from qualities, paraphernalia and pastimes of Lord Vishnu, remembering them, serving the lotus feet of the Lord, offering the Lord respectful worship with 16 types of paraphernalia, offering prayers to the Lord, becoming His servant, considering the Lord one's best friend, and surrendering everything unto Him. In other words, serving Him with the body, mind and words. These 9 processes are accepted as pure devotional service. One who has dedicated his life to the service of Krishna through these 9 methods should be understood to be the most learned person, for he has acquired complete knowledge. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. This is a very, very long purport, almost 10 pages of purport.
Important slok.
For the sloka. Hare Krishna. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Thank you. So this is we have some time. I think this is your first time joining?
It's our first time.
Yeah. So we have class like Saturday we generally have, but we have another 2 days also. So 3 days we do on Zoom. So if you want, you can join. Yeah. So this is like 8:10 we start. Yeah. This is we read the Srimad Bhagavatam. Anyway, thank you for joining. So we are reading from the Canto 7, Chapter 5 of the Srimad Bhagavatam. We just read the translation. I can read one more time so you know what we are studying. Prahlad Maharaj said, hearing and chanting about these transcendental holy names, form, qualities, paraphernalia and pastimes of Lord Vishnu, remembering them, serving the lotus feet of the Lord, and offering the Lord respectful worship with 16 types of paraphernalia, offering prayers toward the Lord, becoming His servant, considering the Lord one's best friend, and surrendering everything unto Him. In other words, serving Him with the body, mind and words. These are 9 processes accepted as pure devotional service. one who has dedicated his life to the service of Krishna through these 9 methods should be understood to be the most learned person, for he has acquired complete knowledge. So generally these 9 processes of devotional service it is mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam by Prahlad Maharaj, and also in the narrations of Maharaj Ambarish. Also it is mentioned how Ambarish Maharaj used this 9 processes of devotional service completely in devotional service to Krishna. Whereas in the Srimad Bhagavatam you find there are 9 great Mahajanas who has also accepted this 9 processes of devotional service, but they did not complete the 9 process, but they did one completion and they got success in spiritual life. So this 9 process of devotional service is very, very powerful, and this is the only process that you can get connected in devotional service with the Supreme Lord. There is no other process. Because Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, Bandhanam, Padashranam, Dasham, Atma Nivedanam. So this process, these 9 processes of devotional service, they are very powerful. It is mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam, and Srimad Bhagavatam was written 5,000 years ago. Srimad Bhagavatam was written 5,000 years ago. And when 5,000 years Srimad Bhagavatam was written, they were simply hearing. They did not write it down. Simply they were hearing it. And it's called Sudhidhar. They would hear and they would remember. And they could speak. So, this is how the Srimad Bhagavatam was spoken. So, out of this 9 processes, the process of hearing and chanting are very, very powerful. So, in this Kali Yuga, generally, it is mentioned that this So when Prahlad Maharaj was asked by his father to say something from whatever he had learned, he considered that what he had learned from his spiritual master was the best of all teachings. Whereas what he had learned about diplomacy from his material teacher, Sanda and Amarka, was useless. Bhakti Parashanubhava Virakti Annatra. This is from the Bhagavatam, Canto 11, 2nd chapter and the 42nd verse. This is the symptom of a pure devotee devotional service. A pure devotee is interested only in devotional service, not in material affairs. To execute devotional service, one should always engage in hearing and chanting about Krishna or Lord Vishnu. The process of temple worship is called Archana. How to perform Archana will be explained here. One should have complete faith in the words of Krishna, who says that he is the great, well-wishing friend of everyone. Suridam sarvabhutanam gyatvam santinichati. A devotee considers Krishna the only friend. This is called Shakhyam or Pungsharpita Vishnu. The word Pungsha means by all living entities. There are no distinction permitting only a man, only a Brahmana to offer devotional service to the Lord. Everyone can do so as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 9:32. Striya Vaishya Tatha Sudra Te Prajanti Paramritim. Although women, Vaishyas and Sudras considered less intelligent, they also can become devotees and return back to Godhead. So nice statement how the Lord is glorified and how the Srimad Bhagavatam Prabhupada is explaining how one can be liberated simply by performing this 9 process of devotional service. And this 9 process of devotional service is mean that you completely surrender to the Lord. And you can do that whether you being a teacher, being a professor, being a politician, being an administrator, or you simply a simple person. It doesn't matter what standard you are in, but you can at least hear about Krishna. You can chant about Krishna's name. You can remember Krishna. You can worship the Lord. Or you can become a friend of Krishna. Or you can give everything to Krishna, surrender everything to Krishna. But in the beginning, we request people to hear and chant about Krishna's name and glories. Because these two processes in this Kali Yuga is very, very powerful. It can nullify all our sinful activities which is accumulated for millions of lifetimes. We don't know how many lifetimes. There are 3 types of sinful activities that we accumulate: Parabdha, Aparabdha, and Kuta and Bij. There are sinful activities which is accumulated from your previous life, and there are sinful activities which is accumulated within this life, and there are sinful activities accumulated from the past and past and past life. So, but when you hear and chant the holy names of Krishna, and you get the chance to hear about the glories of the all glorious activities of Lord Krishna, immediately your heart starts cleansing. That's why in this sloka, Prahlad Maharaj is saying that Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Bandhanam Sevanam Archanam Bandhanam Dashyam Shakham Atma Nivedanam. Shakham. The last, he says, the surrender. Generally in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna, he says, if you want to know me, he demands surrender. He said in the Bhagavad Gita, in the last chapters of the Bhagavad Gita, he is saying, Sarva dharma parityaja mamekam saranam braja aham tam sarva papebhyo moksha shanmaj. Sarva dharma, he said, abandon all kinds of religion and just surrender unto me. Means giving up all your material duties and surrender to Krishna. Abandon all kinds of religion. There are so many types of religion Krishna has spoken in the Bhagavad Gita to his friend Arjuna. But in the last he is saying, whatever I say, you abandon all that and just surrender unto me, and I will protect you and I will free you from all sinful activities. This is what Krishna is boldly saying to whom? To his good friend Arjuna, very dear friend Arjuna, and who is a devotee of the Lord. So, this is what he is demanding. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he went beyond that. He went beyond that and he said that there is no need of surrender. Just chant Hare Krishna mantra and hear about Krishna, and you will get the highest goal, which is love of Krishna. This is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is doing. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he is more merciful. Here Krishna is demanding the surrender, but here is another form of Lord who is a very merciful incarnation of this age. He is not even demanding. He said, just chant Hare Krishna and hear about Krishna, and the rest will follow up automatically. So, but that's why the Shravanam Kirtanam of Vishnu is very, very important in this day and age, or in this Kali Yuga. Because in Kali Yuga, in the different Puranas, it is mentioned that Kali Doshe Nidhi Rajan Hasti Eka Mahaguna Kirtanadeva Krishnasya Mukta Sangha Paramrajit. Kali Doshe Nidhi Rajan. In this age of Kali Yuga, the dosha, the faults of this age is innumerable, it's uncountable. Ocean. Kali doshe nidhi rajan haste kamhad. But there is one good quality, and that quality is the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra. Kirtanadeva Krishnasya mukta sankara. If you chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra all the time, whether congregationally or individually, you will always feel the presence of Goloka Vrindavan, or you will feel the presence of the Kingdom of God, even within this lifetime, within this world. This is what the Brihan Naradiya Purana is saying. Kali doshe nidhi rajan haste kamahadguna kirtanadeva krishnasya mukta sangha parambraje. Mukta sangha, you will be liberated within this life. Simply by the chanting and hearing about Krishna. So, this chanting process is very, very, very powerful, very helpful to these people of this material world, especially in this age. So that's why Prabhupada, he has introduced the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra all over the world. He asked his followers and his missionary workers to chant Hare Krishna mantra all the time. And Mahaprabhu said, Mahaprabhu went beyond that. Mahaprabhu said, Kiva Shayane, Kiva Gamane, Kiva Shayane, Kiva Jagarane, Aharishi Laha Krishnanam, Balabha. Whether you're walking, whether you're sleeping, whether you're eating or walking, or you're doing some work, always, whenever you get a chance, chant Hare Krishna. Kiva Shayane, Kiva Gamane. Gamane means when you're walking. He did not make any rule. He did not say you have to go to the forest and you have to put your close your eyes and control your breathing systems and all that and eat only leaves. He didn't say that. He did not recommend. He said, Aharishi Laha Krishna. He said, whenever you get a chance, chant Hare Krishna. Hear about Krishna. That's why Prabhupada wrote all these very nice books for us to read them. Whenever you get a chance, read them. That means when you are reading, you are actually associating, and not only associating, you are also hearing about Krishna. And when you are hearing, automatically all your material sinful activities which is accumulated from the past and present and other lifetime, it gets eradicated. It vanishes. And then the pure devotional seed, Bhakti Lata beach, grows in your heart. And there will be a place in your heart where Bhakti Lata beach can take place. Bhakti Lata beach means the seed of bhakti, devotion to God will take place. And how you grow the seed? Simply by watering. How you water? You water by hearing and chanting. So Prahlad Maharaj, when his father asked him that what he has learned from his teacher, Sandana Marka, this is the reply he gave to his father. His father was a great demon and very big personality materially, very, very powerful. Even he conquered the Sargaloka, the kingdom of heaven, and all the lower planets. And what to talk about the planet? He was conquering all the planets. Most of the planets were under his subjugation. Just like now we see Russia wants to conquer Ukraine, invade Ukraine, want to conquer. So there's so much fighting going on, so much disturbance, so many people suffering. So Hiranyakashipu, by his power, he took over all the planets in the down planetary systems, and also he took the planets in the upper planetary systems. And he controlled the whole Earth planet also. And Prahlad Maharaj is the only son of him. And he was and he became very dear to his father until he started saying about Lord Vishnu. Then he became his enemy, greatest enemy. But the problem was Hiranyakashipu, he wanted a universal kingdom without being Lord Vishnu presence. This is the problem with the materialist. As soon as they get some power, they think they are the doer of the power. They think they are the creator of that power and they should enjoy that power. No, but the devotees, they don't do like that. Like just like we see Prabhupada became a world preacher by his extra work, by the blessings of his guru, and he preached the Krishna consciousness. He took all the trouble in his older age, and he gave all his credit of his work to Krishna. But whereas the materialists, the demoniac people, they take the credit. So he wanted a kingdom without being Lord Vishnu present. But Vishnu is also very clever. He put Vishnu devotee, he put his own devotee in his own family. And he could not get away with it. He was terrorizing, even he told the demigods that don't listen to Vishnu, listen to me only. I am your master. And if you don't, then you cannot be demigods. He took out Indra from his palace. He did not even let him stay in his home. He made him homeless. He was so powerful. So, Hiranyakashipu, even though he was so powerful, but look at the devotee like Prahlad. He was not afraid of his father. He was only 5-year-old boy. But he spoke the things that his father did not want him to hear. His father wanted to hear what? He wanted to hear diplomacy, politics, geography, history, science and all that, mathematics. He wanted to hear the demoniac types of education. He did not want to hear anything about Lord Vishnu. But here Prahlad Maharaj is saying that everything should be connected to Lord Vishnu. Even our education should be connected to Lord Vishnu. This is what Prahlad Maharaj said. So read, because the long purport will take, it's like almost 10-page purport. So we will not complete today all that. After performing sacrifices, so that means you have to understand, Prabhupada put it sometime in some slokas, he puts like 10-page, 5-page purport. That means those slokas are very, very important, especially for this age. All the slokas are important, but some of them are very, very important. After performing sacrifices, sometimes a person engaged in fruitive activities customarily offers the results to Vishnu. But here it is said, Bhagavata Adha, one must directly offer everything to Vishnu. This is called sannyasa, not merely nyasa. A Tridandi sannyasi carries 3 danda, signifying kaya, mana, vakya, body, mind and words. All of these should be offered to Vishnu, and then one can begin devotional service. Fruitive workers first perform some pious activities and then formally or officially offer the results to Vishnu. The real devotee, however, first offers his surrender to Krishna with his body, mind and words, and then uses his body, mind and words for the service of Krishna as Krishna desires. So this is the difference between the karmi and the devotee who is willing to surrender to Krishna. After performing sacrifices, sometimes person engaged in fruitive activities. So sometimes the people we see, they do sacrifices, they do austerity, they do penance. But the aim of that austerity, aim of that penance, aim of that charity is to enjoy some good result in life. That is the meaning of doing this type of activities. I mean, demons also they do, like Hiranyakashipu. He is the greatest austerity that he has done in the history of the mankind. He did not eat for 10,000 years. Can you imagine? Not eating for 10,000 years, not even drinking water. For 10,000 years, not 1-2 years, 10,000 years. He did not drink, he did not eat. He was simply living his life and breathing for 10,000 years. So much hard austerity he has done, but the result was not to aim Krishna, not to aim towards Vishnu. The result he wanted to become immortal, so that he can rule the whole earthly planet, he could rule this universe for as long as he wants. So he wanted to become immortal, he wanted to become Amara. But he did not get the benediction Amara or become liberated. He did not get complete liberation. He couldn't get it by his austerity. But why he wanted to serve him austerity? Because he wanted to enjoy the kingdom. He wanted to become a great ruler. He wanted to become a great powerful person. But he did not want to offer his results of his austerity to Lord Krishna. That's why in the Bhagavatam Krishna is saying that our aim should be, all our activities should be engaged, all our activities, result should be offered to Lord Vishnu. We should offer to Lord Vishnu as a sacrifice. Then that activities will not bind us. Otherwise, if you perform activities without offering result to Lord Vishnu, then that same activities will be the cause of your bondage to stay back in this material world. So that's why the devotees are very, very careful, they are very sharp, intelligent, that whenever they perform any activities, that the result of that activities they offer to Lord Vishnu. They do not want to take that result of that activities for themselves. Just like we collect a lot of money in the temple, but that money is given to Lord. We use that money for the service of the Lord. We don't take that money and use in our self-gratification. We don't do that. Or sometimes we see the devotees are working very hard outside on the street. We had this lady, girl, Dinapalita. She was going every day on the street and distributing books, working very hard. It is not so easy for a girl like her to go and every day on the street, and whether it's cold or hot, going out and distributing books and meeting so many types of people. Sometimes you meet a lot of crazy people also on the street. But she took that, as a matter of fact, she took that service to please Srila Prabhupada. So whatever was the result, bad or good, she tolerated, and whatever results she got from that book distribution, she offered to Lord Krishna, to Srila Prabhupada. So this way, she doesn't get any chance to do any, to be bound up by karma, because the result is offered to Lord Krishna. So that's why in the Bhagavatam Krishna is saying, at least if you cannot surrender to Krishna, at least you should offer your result of your work to Krishna. That will also please the Lord. And in this way, you will not be lokayam karma bandhana. You will not become bondage by the karma bandhana. So that's why in the Bhagavad Krishna instructed that everybody should perform their duties. Everybody has some duties out of their own propensity. Everybody has some duties. Whether you're educated, non-educated, doesn't matter. But everybody has some propensities to work. But that result of that work should be offered to Lord Krishna. At least some of it. If you cannot give everything, at least give some of it. That's what Prabhupada said. But whereas the devotee who are surrendered to Krishna fully, but they offer their kaya, manobhakya. Kaya means the words, kaya, and the mano means the mind. Kaya, mano, bhakya. Bhakya means the words, and kaya means the body. Everything is offered to Krishna service. And they use this kaya, mano, bhakya, the mind, the body, and the words for pleasing the Lord. And they do that according to the order of this Lord. Not they do independently. They use those three propensities completely, fully in the service of the Lord, the way Krishna wants it. And this is called full surrender. Such devotees are very rare. And they are known as there are 4 ashrama, and they are situated in the highest ashrama, that is sannyas order. Sannyasi. A sannyasi is situated in the highest order. Why? Because he has offered everything to the service of the Lord Vishnu. That means they have offered their body, mind, intelligence and their words in serving Lord Vishnu or serving the spiritual master. And this is called full sacrifice. That's why you see the sannyasis, they carry danda, they carry stick, and they are known as Tridandi sannyasi. And that means this refers that they have offered their whole life in the service to the Lord with their body, mind, and the words. They offer everything. And this is called full surrender. So this type of surrendering devotees are very rare. And they are very dear to Krishna, and they work under the guidance of the Supreme Lord. They do not use those 3 propensities in their independent way. They use under the guidance of the Supreme Lord or the spiritual master. That's if the spiritual master tell you to preach, so you go out and preach. And if the spiritual master tells you to speak about Krishna, you speak about Krishna. Don't be shy. Sometimes we are shy to speak about Krishna to others. Oh, what my family member is going to say. What the person that I am speaking about to Krishna, what is he going to say? They will think we are some sectarian monk or something, some hypocrite or something. No. We are very clear about this knowledge of Krishna. So that's why Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur gives the following explanation. In the Tatya, the word Shavana refers to giving oral reception to the holy name and descriptions of the Lord's form and qualities, entourage and pastimes as explained in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita and similar authorized scripture. After orally receiving such message, one should memorize this vibration and repeat them. Kirtanam, Smaranam means trying to understand more and more about the Supreme Lord, and Padasevanam means engaging oneself in serving the lotus feet of the Lord according to the times and circumstances. Archana means worshipping Lord Vishnu as one does in the temple, and Vandana means offering respectful obeisances. Manmana Bhagavat Bhakta Majjadam Namaskuru Mamiva Shashaktante Madarapanam Parayanam. Bandhanam means Namaskuru, offering obeisances or offering prayers, thinking oneself to be Nitya Krishna Das, everlastingly a servant of Krishna, is called Darshan. This is the living entity can have the most valuable relationship with Krishna, which is known as Krishna's servant. Jivera Sharuphay Krishnera Nitya Das. The real identity of the living entity for everyone, including the demigods. The identity of the living entity is we are all eternal servants of Krishna. And when you believe that and you accept and you work accordingly, you become the greatest, happiest person in the greatest calamities. Even if you are facing greatest calamities. Because one who thinks that I am the servant of Krishna, he is the most happiest. Krishna Das ei vishwas korle tovar dukkhana. Bhaktivinoda Thakur is praying, saying, Krishna Das ei vishwas korle tovar dukkhana. If you believe in total that I am the servant of Krishna, then there is no more dukkha, there is no more misery. There is only happiness. Krishna Das ei vishwas korle tovar dukkhana. There is no more miseries. And this is what you should learn by practicing devotional service. This is what you should practice. How to become happy in life. In the material world, people are very, very unhappy. Very unhappy. If they get into trouble, they don't know where to go. They don't know who to approach. But the devotees, in their greatest calamity situation, they know who to approach, they know who to reach, and they become happy. Just like Prahlad Maharaj, you have a very live example. Prahlad Maharaj, because he being a devotee of Lord Vishnu, his father tortured him, abused him, killed almost. He at the point where he wanted to kill him in many ways, but he never forgot Krishna. He always remembered Krishna. He always remembered Krishna. At the most dangerous situation, he never forgot Krishna. And Krishna always protected him because he was a pure devotee of the Lord. So Krishna protected him. His father tried to put him in the boiling hot oil, tried to burn him into boiling water. How a father of a son can do like that? He cannot do, but this is a demoniac father because he thought Vishnu is my enemy. Why is he chanting Lord Vishnu's name? Why is he preaching about Lord Vishnu to others? So I should kill him. Even though he's his own family member, his own son. That is the mentality of the demons. Just like I was reading this morning that Putin, the president of Russia, anyone is coming in his way for this war, whether his family member, he is not listening to anybody. He blocks them. He even tried to assassinate them. He tried to even put them in jail. So many things he's doing. Because they think, because of fear, because they think, oh, they're coming in my position, they're coming on my way. That's the demon mentality. There's my way and there's no way. That's how the demons they think. This is what Hiranyakashipu thought. My way is that Vishnu is my enemy and nobody should worship Vishnu. I should take out the worship of Lord Vishnu from within this world. This is how he was thinking. But he cannot. Because this world was not created for you. This world was created for the devotees of Lord Vishnu to decide here. This world was created for Lord Vishnu's pleasures. It was not created for your pleasure. That's why this world is, whenever we are here with our body, we should always try to serve Lord Vishnu and please Him, not to please ourselves. Whether we are happy or disappy, it doesn't matter. But we should prescribe our duties to serve Lord Vishnu and we should continue with them. That is the sentence of a pure devotee. In the greatest calamities, he always chants the holy name of Krishna. He hears about Krishna, he preaches about Krishna, and he does so many types of service to Krishna. This is devotee. So Hiranyakashipu, he thought, I'll wipe out all the worship of Lord Vishnu from within this universe, and then I'll become the God. Otherwise, if there is God in between, then there is somebody else. So people will follow him. Nobody is going to follow me. So he wanted to wipe out the worship of Lord Vishnu. He didn't want the presence of Vishnu. Just like this so-called, nowadays we see this communist in Russia, they didn't want God. There are times ago where people are been stopped going to the churches. Said, we are giving you daily bread. Why are you going to the churches and getting there? Why are you going there? We are serving you, we are helping you. You should accept us as God and worship us. This is only not even maybe 60 years ago in Russia. This was the thing they were preaching. And we can see thousands of years ago, Hiranyakashipu did the same thing. He said, worship me, I am your God. But the devotees said no. Devotees who are very strong followers of Vishnu, no. Lord Vishnu is the Supreme Personal Godhead. We worship Him, we chant His name, and we glorify Him, and we become happy. So I'll stop here. If anybody has any questions. Janina, can you hear me? You have any question?
No, I was just listening.
Or you want to say something?
I think there's something like chanting is important. Also, devoting your life to Krishna in three propensities. But ultimately, what I've gotten is really living a life of surrender.
Yes, surrendering to the Supreme Person Godhead is the highest goal for every living entity. But surrendering is not so easy because we have so much attachment in this world. So sometimes this attachment sometimes keeps us, holding us back, surrendering to Krishna. We are attached to family, country, we are attached to our body. So generally, surrendering comes when you give everything to Krishna and you think Krishna is mine and I am his, and whatever he says I do. It's a very high process, but if one wants to achieve pure love for Krishna, pure unalloyed love for Krishna and go back to Godhead, that is the demanding, Krishna is demanding that you have to surrender. But in this age, surrendering is become very easy. You don't have to quit nothing. You don't have to quit your job. You don't have to quit your propensities that you are doing already. You just have to dovetail, add with it the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra and hearing about Krishna. That will perfect your life also. This is what Mahaprabhu said in this age. Because in this age, everybody cannot just give up everything and just join the movement or go to the forest. Situation is not different. So that's why Krishna, he has come very kindly in his beautiful form of Chaitanya and Nityananda, and they ordered us that whatever activities we perform, give up, but they're asking that we give up our sinful activities and do our duties, whether you're working or doing business or being a politician, it doesn't matter. Just do your prescribed duties, do your dharma as a duty, but you go on chanting Hare Krishna and you go on hearing about Krishna. And you say the same message to others. In this way you become very dear to Krishna.
So it's all about
Yes.
in other words, making about having it as a lifestyle.
Yes. You just have to change the lifestyle. In the karmis, we are doing the same thing, more or less look like same, but there is difference between the thinking of a devotee while they are doing their activities, and there is a great difference of a karmi while they are performing their duties. Same thing, we are walking, we are sleeping, devotee is sleeping, devotee is walking, devotee is eating, devotee is working. Karmis are sleeping, working, eating, everything. They are doing the same thing, but they are doing different. There is big difference. When devotee is sleeping, they are thinking, I am sleeping so that I can get some rest, so I can wake up next day in the morning, I can offer Mangalarati to Krishna. Devotee is working, maybe they are having outside jobs, or they may be working in some factory, or they may be working in some, doing some business, or working with some company, whatever they're doing may be, but they're thinking, my result of this work, I'm going to offer to Lord Krishna. So I can give some money to Krishna so they can use that money for the service of the Lord. This is how the devotees, they do. Devotees are walking, where they're walking to the temple, or they may be walking on the street, they are preaching about Krishna. So everything they're engaging in the service of the Lord. This is the difference between the devotees.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. Any question, Neeraj? Hare Krishna. Jai Nantarasana Bhagavad Gita.